Woman charged in stabbing a St. Augustine priest ruled incompetent to stand trial. Let's get through this. We'll talk about it. The woman charged with attempted murder and the stabbing of a priest in St. Augustine has been ruled incompetent to stand trial, this according to court records. October 23rd, 2024, the St. Augustine Police Department informed the public about a significant police presence in the downtown area as they searched for a female suspect. Suspect later identified as 22-year-old Arieana Gibbs. Gibbs was wanted in connection with a stabbing incident that police reported occurred around 8 a.m. near the corner of San Marco and Rohde Avenues. She was apprehended on multiple charges at approximately 10:30. It was subsequently disclosed that Father Matt Marino of Trinity Parish Church was the victim of that stabbing. According to the police department, the attack seemed to be random, and there was no prior acquaintance between Gibbs and Marino. He sustained life-threatening injuries during the incident, including a severe pulmonary artery, pulmonary artery, and a collapsed lung. He was hospitalized for 6 days at Jacksonville's HCA Florida Memorial Hospital. The Episcopal Diocese of Florida reported that Marino was stabbed while having coffee. Court order signed by Judge R. Lee Smith on December 19th indicated that Gibbs has a mental illness that hinders her ability to consult with a lawyer with a reasonable degree of rational understanding. The order further stated that Gibbs lacks a rational or functional understanding of the court proceedings against her, and that there is a substantial likelihood she would pose a danger to herself or others without treatment. Competency evaluation on Gibbs was conducted by Dr. Ryan Bennett, as noted in the order. Due to Gibbs being ruled incompetent to proceed with the case against her, the order specifies that she will be placed, retained, and treated in a mental health facility. The order mandates that no later than 60 days after her admission into the mental health facility, the Department of Children and Families, through the facility's administrator, must file a report directed to the court with copies to the attorneys for state and defense regarding whether Gibbs has regained competency in the necessity for continued commitment. They say if at any time thereafter the administrator or designee determines that Gibbs has regained competency to proceed or no longer meets the criteria for continued commitment, a report must be filed with the court to that effect. Davey, what do you think on this? You said you had a lot to say about this.
Well,
what
I think
are you
it's
thinking,
a strategic move from the judge, to be honest with you. I think that if she wasn't evaluated before she stood trial, I think that gives the defense leverage to be able to get this tossed out, which sounds crazy, but I really think this is a strategic move so that she can get evaluated and then she can have a, quote, fair trial.
That's interesting. I'm not sure. It doesn't really say in here that if she is found to be competent, that they will return to court proceedings after that. It sounds like they're just going to pretty much cut her loose, put her in a mental facility, and see what happens.
Oh, I didn't get that from that. I think for sure. I think it's not over, right? I don't know. What are your thoughts, Troy?
I think mental illness, I don't think she is the person that was stabbing that day, but there has to be consequences from that. This is a tough one. This is a tough one because Matt's a friend of mine, and I want to see her,
of course,
punished to
we
the
all
extent
do.
that she deserves. But if she's mentally not capable of some of these things, how long she stays in the facility is important to me.
I think so too.
It has to equate to like if she's in there for 3 months and she's out, I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
If she's in there for 10 years, okay, maybe that matches the crime.
Yeah.
So I like I said, it's the balancing act. It's too early for me to say, because if she needs to be in a mental facility, she needs to be in a mental facility. And every account that I've heard of what happened at McDonald's and then what happened with Matt, it sounds like there's definitely a mental issue there.
But listen,
if it's drug induced, because of that mental illness,
Yeah,
then she
figure
needs
that out.
Then she needs to be in
Well,
prison.
if it's a drug-induced mental illness, we need to throw the whole mental illness thing out.
Yeah.
Get her ass
Then
back in
Then
court.
she needs to be in prison.
I mean, yeah. I
So
mean, that's ridiculous. If it's drug-induced, I mean, it's everybody's mentally ill on drugs.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's an excuse. It seems to me like there might be a little bit more than that, than just a drug-induced mental illness on this one.
I agree.
And I'm less about, what she deserves and more, she can't be a danger to our community.
Yeah.
She's obviously somebody who resorts to violence fairly easily. I mean, she had an incident at that McDonald's where somebody almost got stabbed that morning, and then she just goes and randomly stabs somebody that's having coffee in downtown St. Augustine. I'm sorry,
multiple
but
priors
Yeah,
too.
very
Yeah.
violent.
yeah, and multiple priors. And you can't have somebody like that out and free in the community, just left to their own.
But the way this legal system works, there has to be a way so that it is ironclad when Judgment Day when it comes forward. Otherwise, these defense
Mental
people.
illness, you
Yeah, but
can't-
I think
there's no
it's-
such thing as ironclad and mental illness together. Those two don't go together.
and
they
if-
just
Well,
don't.
maybe
if
that's
it's-
why. Maybe that's why this strategic move is something that.
I mean, Hinckley's out now, and he tried to kill the president.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's on the street now. I mean, he just recently, like the last 4 or 5 years. But,
Well, yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah.
but he did spend, almost 30 years in this facility. I mean, he was able to go to do other things and stuff.
I think you guys would be more pissed off if she got off scot free
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean that if
because of mental illness
if
or insanity.
If she stays in, I don't want to throw a number on it, but I mean, the number that popped into my head.
105 years life.
10 years, 10 years or something like that, and then she, they figure out the proper medication for her and how to make her a citizen again. Then I think that's fair. She's out in 3 months. I got a big problem with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
that's the difference for me. Is it's not like the mental facilities they send them to, or you can you have all the freedoms of the world.
Right. True.
So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you, Troy. I think the sentence in the mental center, whatever that may be, definitely needs to be long. I mean, they definitely need to figure it out because this person is a real serious danger to people in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just the fact of what we've seen from this person.
Can we force someone not to live here? I mean, I'm serious. Like, you
Well, there
cannot
are a
live.
lot of people on that list I'd send back to wherever they came
I mean,
from.
seriously. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, no, I mean you really can't. You put them in facilities that match their mental state, I guess.
Mm.
I have to agree. Judge Arlie Smith, he's not a
What is he
lenient
like?
judge. I mean, he's not an easy judge. He's been the judge on a lot of these high profile cases, and he's made some pretty tough decisions. So if he is going that she is mentally incompetent to stand trial, doesn't understand what's going on, is really not there. Then I got to take him at his word, but we got to figure out something to keep her off the streets of St. Augustine.
yeah, I don't
mean,
think she's safe right now.
She's not safe for herself and for anybody else.
No, and I hope the system does it right, and that's what I'm saying. It's too early for me, and I don't know all the facts on it. But what I've heard, she definitely was mentally ill on some sort of situation. I don't know if drugs are induced, then she needs to be in prison. If that's what created this mental illness, she's going to do that again, no matter what they do for her.
Yeah,
she's
it needs to go through the court system.
I'm sure it's all of the above, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It probably is a little bit of probably is a little bit of a few things, honestly. You're right. So we'll definitely be following that to see how that shakes out, man. I just don't think you can put her back out on the street anytime soon. You got to figure out what's going on. You got to treat her properly, and you got to make sure it's working. I don't know how you ensure that somebody continues taking their medication, that it continues to work. I mean,
True.
it's tough.
Absolutely.
But when you got somebody out here randomly stabbing people, you can't have that person as part of your society.
Absolutely not.
And that's
in
where
that
I feel like
condition.
mental health, you can slip right through these court systems. And I think that's my opinion. I just think the judge did this on purpose so that she can get properly evaluated, and then they know the route to go for the trial.
We will see. It doesn't sound to me like she's going back to trial, but we will see.
Sure do hope so.
Well, I mean, if she goes to trial and then she's ruled mentally not competent, then you can't try her again.
Right.
Yeah.
For that same charge. So the double jeopardy
Right.
rule would apply.
All right. Developers also pushing for rezoning in St. Johns County with new townhome projects.